Hey guys, let's get more news about Aaron Rodgers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Study, DL Daniel Equaly is right player at right time for Steelers by Clayton Eckert posted on March 20, 2025 at 12 a.m. Defensive line is one of the Pittsburgh Steelers' biggest needs this offseason. They released Larry Ogunjobi last week and have since signed Daniel Equaly. The goal today is to see what the former New England Patriot could bring to the Steel City in 2025. First, I wanted to see what opportunities look like. Here are total defensive snaps and over-the-tackle snaps, including 2024 Steelers and NFL defensive lines. For context, our latest videos right away, we see that Equaly was comfortably above the mean in each. He had 723 defensive snaps, ranking 15th out of 68 qualifying DL, min 475 snaps. The best ability is availability. Equaly also had the second most over-the-tackle snaps, 372, trailing only Zach Allen of Denver, whopping 684. On paper, Equaly's 2024 opportunities point to nice experience as 3 to 4 defensive end in Pittsburgh's defense. His snaps most resembled Steelers stalwart Cameron Hayward, who had 779 defensive snaps, 8th, and 295 over-the-tackle snaps, 9th. Ogunjobi was also above the mean in over-the-tackle snaps, 224, 21st, so if things go swimmingly, Equaly would slot into that role as the roster sits today. Keanu Benton had only 48 over-the-tackle snaps, 55th, in 2024 and could continue playing primarily on the inside if Pittsburgh so chooses. Pair that with the likelihood of the Steelers drafting the position and it will be interesting, and critical, to see how the 2025 DL room continues to be built and how those players perform. Next, I wanted to provide 2024 run defense and pass rush grades from Pro Football Focus. For starters, Hayward was one of the most balanced players at DL in 2024, getting massive props, deservedly so, in the PFF grades. Then what Pittsburgh's goal in bringing in Equaly becomes clear. After Benton and Ogunjobi were well below the line in run defense, the Steelers brought in a plus run defender, 62.7, 24th. The downside is a lowly 51.9 pass rush grade, 61st/68, 8th worst among qualifiers. That was the worst mark of players in our sights, so if 2024 is any indication, run defense is clearly the impact Pittsburgh is expecting Equaly to make in 2025. Hopefully, the Steelers will draft someone with that skill set to round out the room, best case a well-rounded fixture across the board for now and the future. Another improvement Equaly could potentially bring to the Steel City is tackling. Here are tackling grades and missed tackle rates in 2024. On the extreme top right, we see Equaly was one of the best among his positional peers as a tackler in 2024. His 71.2 tackling grade ranked second best among qualifiers, along with a great 3.6 missed tackle rate that ranked third. Being top 3 in both was quite encouraging to learn, and he actually fared better than his new All-Pro teammate Hayward, 65.4 tackle grade, T7th, 6.3 missed tackle rate, 12th. Benton was the only Steeler below the mean in both last season with a 34.4 tackle grade, 53rd, and 17.5 missed tackle rate, 54th, so improvement in year 3 is dire from him on the interior. Ogunjobi was above the line, with a 53.5 tackling grade, 23rd, and 9.5 missed tackle rate, 25th. Not bad, but if Equaly is able to produce another season similar to 2024, he is a clear upgrade in several ways Pittsburgh needs. Aaron Rodgers might not be in rush to pick Giants or Steelers, but he does face realistic pre-draft deadline. Aaron Rodgers won't be joining the Vikings, his preferred landing spot for 2025.so for Rodgers, it's the Giants, the Steelers, or retirement. Or maybe he waits for a starting quarterback on a legit contender, which the Giants most certainly are not, to suffer a training camp injury. Clearly, the Steelers are a better destination for Rodgers, who would be foolish to pick the Giants over Pittsburgh. And as of Tuesday, the Steelers were reportedly growing optimistic about their chances of landing Rodgers and beating out the Giants for his services. But as he decides what to do, among those four options, including just continuing to wait, he is in no rush at all, according to ESPN. Of course he isn't. That's just how Rodgers operates. And presuming he remains the top free agent choice for the Steelers and Giants, who could both draft a quarterback on April 24th, there's no need for him to rush. But 3 days before the draft begins, on April 21st, the Steelers and Giants will both begin their spring workout programs. You'd think Rodgers would like to make a decision by then, at least if you're looking at this situation logically, because he'd need the spring to get acclimated with his new team. So April 21st, more than a month away, is a deadline of sorts. And then the start of the draft, 3 days later, is a firmer deadline. All we know for now is that the Vikings don't want Rodgers, as they roll with J.J. McCarthy, last year's 10th overall pick. Rodgers wanted them, but they said no thanks. They would have been a great destination for him at this stage of his career. So what now? Well, all everyone can do is continue to wait, perhaps for another month or so. Steelers are fine waiting on decision from Aaron Rodgers, says NFL Insider. Even with their instability at quarterback, the Pittsburgh Steelers are fine with waiting on veteran free agent Aaron Rodgers to make a decision regarding next season, Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz reported Wednesday. Sources have indicated that the Pittsburgh Steelers are fine waiting for Rodgers to make a decision on whether he's ultimately playing in 2025, and if so, where, and money has not been an issue, Schultz wrote in an evening column. Meanwhile, the New York Giants remain interested, though I could see them adding a backup type very soon, similar to Pittsburgh signing Mason Rudolph. As of Wednesday, the teams openly interested in Rodgers dwindled to just the Steelers and the Giants. There was a brief flirtation with the Minnesota Vikings, but such talk has been, mostly, shut down. Now, Rodgers is left to choose between Pittsburgh, New York, or retirement, and he is really taking his time to do so. But as Rodgers deliberates, 2024 Steelers quarterback and current free agent Russell Wilson is waiting patiently in the wings, with reports indicating he'd like to play for the black and gold again come the fall. Pittsburgh is in desperate need of some stability under center, and while they likely won't get it this season, a veteran QB could be a great bridge to younger talent. So now that Justin Fields has left for the New York Jets, the team's options are 1. Start former backup and new pickup Mason Rudolph, 2. Re-sign Wilson, or 3. Sign Rodgers. But if Wilson walks before Rodgers decides, and then Rodgers chooses the Giants or retirement, well, that could be a bit of a problem. So although the Steelers are clearly hoping the waiting game pays off, it's a big risk at this stage. Let's hope it all falls into place. Are you a fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.